I'm Al Filreis.
I'm Anna Safford.
And this is ModPoMinute, actually 5 minutes.
We're hoping to scratch the surface of a short poem that we like.
So let's get started. We have the great privilege of running into a non-Montrealer who came in from Calgary, Derek Beaulieu, who's a fantastic poet. Derek, tell us where we are and then what we're going to do here.
Okay, well, welcome. We're at Casa Roja on Saint Laurent Boulevard in Montreal for the Fall 2018 Coach House Books launch. There's going to be a whole bunch of us reading, and I have the pleasure to be launching Nights on Prose Mountain by bpNichol. This is his collected fiction. bpNichol actually passed away 30 years ago last week, September 25th, 1988, and this takes all of his novels and all of his short fiction, gathers them into one 360-page lump, and returns all these books back into print for a current readership. And I'm going to read one short story out of this collection called Gorg, a detective story for A.A. Fair, posthumously. A man walks into a room. There is a corpse on the floor. The man has been shot through the temple, the bullet entering at a 45-degree angle above the eyes and exiting almost through the top of the skull. The man does not walk out of the room. The corpse stands up and introduces himself. Later there will be a party. You will not be invited, and feeling hurt, go off into the corner to sulk. There is a gun on the windowsill. You rig up a pulley which enables you to pull the trigger while pointing the gun between your eyes and holding it with your feet. A man walks in on you. You are lying on the floor, dead. You have been shot through the temple, the bullet exiting almost through the top of your skull. You stand up and introduce yourself. The man lies on the floor and you shoot him between the eyes, the bullet piercing his temple and exiting through his skull into the floor. You rejoin the party. The man asks you to leave since you weren't invited. You notice a stranger in the doorway who, pulling out a gun, shoots you between the eyes. You introduce each other and lie down. Your host is polite but firm and asks you both to leave. At this point, a man walks in and introduces himself. You are lying on the floor and cannot see him. Your host appears not to know him, and the man leaves. The party ends, and the room is empty. The man picks up the corpse and exits.
bpNichol.
Oh my God.
Anna, who's you? What's you? How does you function? The second person.
Oh my God. Okay, so, well, you could be an invitation to, like, you're the reader, like you, the one reading this
Right,
right
you went
now.
to the second level reading.
You're
first.
the one who's doing this.
Right.
Right.
But you are both the killer and the reader.
Right.
And the victim.
Yeah.
So Derek,
All at the same time.
it's not simply that's complicated enough.
Holy shit.
But now, in addition to that, you're not invited.
No,
No.
you're not even supposed to be here.
No.
And yeah, like there's this interesting like it takes apart the detective story. You are the victim and the murderer. You are the witness, and you're not invited to be here at all. Like you are observing this thing and really shouldn't be here in the first place. And it's just fascinating.
And
how
yet
he's
you are
moving
here
sort of-
because
you also
have to be a reader by
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah,
But you
you are-
haven't been invited.
No. And that's the interesting thing with this text is that it invites you in and pushes you out at the same time. It's like, I don't know why you're here. But being that you're here, you're going to have to kill someone, and you're going to have to be killed, and you're going to have to be asked to leave at the end of it. It's just this fascinating pulling around of all these expectations.
Well, and it
what
really-
a detective story is supposed to be.
And it really does that in this middle where it says, you know, you're not supposed to be here, so you go off the corner to sulk. You see there's a gun on the windowsill. You rig up a pulley which enables you to pull the trigger while pointing the gun between your eyes and holding it with your feet.
Yes. So you're not only the murderer, but you also kill yourself.
Right.
Like, yeah. And that's the act of reading, right? You give yourself up to this text and are ready for whatever the text throws at you,
Yeah.
even your own death in this particular case.
I don't know anything about A.A. Fair, but I love that
Me
it's
neither.
posthumous.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the dedicatee is the corpse that gets picked up and exited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and I don't know who A.A. Fair is either, but he's one of these positions, I have to assume. He moves around.
I have a feeling, Derek, that some people watching this 5+ minute conversation, many people will know bpNichol, but some won't. And this is not what most people who know
No.
bpNichol's work would think is typical. Can you explain it?
Well, that's why it's so much fun to have this book return to
Yeah.
print, is that bpNichol is known mostly as a concrete poet, But he's known for his long poem, his 9-volume long poem, The Martyrology, concrete poetry, and a lot of current audiences know him for writing scripts for Fraggle Rock. So he actually wrote for kids' books as well. He wrote operas and comics and all sorts of things. And his fiction tends to fall by the wayside. It hasn't been looked at. So when we find something like this, it's like, well, this adds a whole thing that we didn't even know BP was doing unless you had to dig deep. This particular piece has been out of print for about 40 years.
And the comedy. Is that, he has a comic strain.
Oh, absolutely. All of the things. I mean,
and the concrete poetry is comic.
Yeah, of course. It's supposed to like allow you to enjoy this. I mean, other pieces in this particular book have, comic strip illustrations that trouble the text and get in the way.
Yeah.
But there's also, there's a concrete novel at the back of the text.
Wow, yeah.
Where the novel is actually told entirely through single words and individual letters. So he's taking all sorts of expectations of how the novel works, and yes, it is a joyful exploration. There's a lot of fun going on here, even when the topic is murder and suicide detective stories.
Yeah, it's called Nights on Prose Mountain, Coach House Books.
Yep.
We're in Montreal, but Coach House Books is famously Toronto. You're in Calgary, Canada.
Yeah, we're all over the place with this launch. It's absolutely fun. We've got people from all over Canada, all over the world for tonight. The book has been a couple years in the making and has been brings together texts that were published all over Canada and the States. It's absolutely an international affair.
Derek, thank you. And
it's my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
If you liked this episode, watch another and subscribe.
And join us for ModPo, a free and open course at modpo.org.